Some of you may or may not know that there's been some more misconduct and abuse that has come to light. And it once again reminds us that we still have work to do, and that the student and teacher relationship is deeply sacred. And actually, even without saying teacher, like it's putting me on a pedestal or anyone on a pedestal, is actually the community. I think that, I'm sorry, I'm going to throw that back out again. This chant, Sahana Vavatu, and I have to apologize to Simon because he said he was going to teach this on Sunday. So I'm sorry. You can teach it again on Sunday during our glorious open day, where there is already 25 people signed up for lunch. I'm terrified how much I have to cook. Yes, she's bringing food. If you want to bring food, you can bring food. If you want to eat food, come and eat food. If you want to come drink coffee, you can come and drink coffee. Looking at Tyba just there. There are many parts. Sometimes some teachers have talked about the responsibility is a quarter of it is from the lineage and the tradition. A quarter of it is your responsibility. A quarter of it is the teacher's responsibility. And a quarter of it is the community around you's responsibility. So sometimes one of those pieces has some discord in it. And it's a time that we get to reflect and refine and improve what we're doing and why we're doing it as well. We should all have a why. And hopefully it should be absolutely nothing to do with the teacher. It should be about something that's much deeper and internal, okay? And I constantly have to, even I was thinking about it the other day, nearly 15 years in now to practicing Ashtanga daily, some other years before that of other yoga practice, is that I constantly have to go back to the why. I want you to think about the why and why you have a why. And it may evolve over time as well. But actually, the why that I started with is still very much relevant to the why that I have now as well. Okay. So as we do this chant, and we're going to do it several times, you have some time to contemplate that concept, okay, as well. Over the coming week and two, our community is going to write a more formal code of conduct for our whole Shala. It's complicated to do, but very important. And it's something that I want to be able to be signposted on a wall and also on our website as well. It's something that I've had to sign also with the Institute in Mysore as well. The Institute in Mysore, my codes of conduct, I'm going to read them out to you if you're interested. This is when I sign my authorization certificate. Some of it I adhere to, and some of it I don't. Call me a bad yogi. 10. To teach the Ashtanga method as taught in Sharat Yoga Center in Mysore, India. To maintain a yoga room or shala to allow for daily, preferably morning or Mysore style practice. To honor a weekly day off and a moon day. As authorized level 1 or 2 teachers to teach primary series or intermediate series only. To not participate in any teacher training workshops under the name of teacher training, aka Ashtanga Teacher Intensive, teacher training, Ashtanga Intensive, or Yoga Intensive, unless approved by the Institute. To provide a safe and professional environment, free from harassment, discrimination of any kind, including gender, ethnicity, nationality, or sexual based. To respect the rights and personal integrity and dignity and privacy of each student. To be respectful in conduct and speech, attire, and attentive to local customs and traditions, especially as relevant when you're in India as well. To follow any local government and national laws and regulations and best practices that pertain to yoga teaching and related businesses that I conduct. That I am solely accountable for my actions, behavior, speech, and anything that might be defined or perceived as abusive, harassment, or otherwise improper, unethical, or illegal conduct. To not display an out-of-date Sharat Yoga Center authorization or certificate. I do not display my certificate of authorization because it has a picture of Sharat in the back of it. The same as I previously didn't display the picture, my old authorization certificate because it had a picture of Patabi Joyce in it. We don't have a place for putting one teacher on our pedestal or wall. We have multiple teachers in our community, and we have Ganesh and Durga and Patanjali and Saraswati and Lakshmi and Hanuman and our community. If we're going to put a picture up, it would be of our community. Okay? I deviate. To provide correct contact information to the Institute and be available on the website for any information and keep that updated. To prominently display, oh, I love that, I never saw that, prominently display a codes of conduct that shall include the listed above in an area that is clearly visible to my students and on my personal website or Shala website. I'm sorry, I've not done that so far. Okay. Should Sharat Yoga Center revoke my authorization certificate, I promise to destroy or return it back to the Institute. By accepting this Sharat Yoga Center authorization or certificate status, I understand that the authorization certificate are a property of Sharat Yoga Center in Mysore, and it can be revoked at any time at the discretion of the Institute. Okay, that's clear parameters that I've signed as part of, and it definitely has laid a foundation for a lot of what I've been teaching. As some of you understand, I teach a little bit more sometimes than intermediate series. And that's under the consent and discussion with my other teacher, with Sarah, pardon me. And the codes of conduct is something that some of this will be based off and also will continue on as well. Over the coming weeks, we're going to be asking you as a community to be able to contribute towards it as well, because I need your input. And it's important that we continue to have this discussion as well, and that it will continue to be updated, the codes of conduct. They will not be a static thing. They may get printed and put up on the wall, but I fully expect that someone will stick a post-it note on it at one point and be like, everyone needs to clean their mat better. Can you put that in the codes of conduct? Or the toilet seat needs to be put down. Really? Oh, great.
Particles everywhere. Sorry, I digress.
So the discussion will continue on, and as horrible as this week has been, it's also been an invitation for us to continue to reflect and notice and be attentive and to be accountable for the work that we're continuing to do. Because running a Mysore style room and running an Ashtanga room is complicated. It would be really easy if I just didn't touch anyone. Please don't say that. It would still be complicated if I didn't touch anyone. And so, or we didn't touch anyone as well. So know that myself, Vanessa, Kirsten, the Mysore teaching team, our assistant team as well, will be constantly evolving this discussion. And if you hear me for some reason, and especially the last week, I've been like, you can say no at any point. I was like, would you like the next posture of Samuel Horsley? I can show you if you'd like to. And there was like I'm not sure if I do. And there's also this evolution, and many of us, as Vanessa and I have also talked about as well, is that it's easy that sometimes within our Shala, sometimes when we have new folks that come to the Shala, I often say, we're quite a progressive Shala. I kind of have to lay the foundation of that. Because you'll see blocks and props and Vanessa upside down on a chair or using the Iyengar ropes. And myself as well, she's teaching me. Yes. And so know that we have this real progressiveness that is going to develop, and I hope and that it will continue to develop in our community as well. I think the foundations of our practice is always going to be rooted in the Ashtanga Vinyasa lineage and also in the Ashtanga philosophy. That's where I look at Samuel. I'm like, yes, please teach us, keep teaching us about philosophy. And that this will continue to be the foundations of what happens and the paradigms or the structure or the toolbox that we continue to take tools out of, okay? Because it's a great ally to be able to keep the mind steady, to be able to find a focus of breath and movement, to be able to build community, to be able to grow and develop in practice and find steadiness in practice as well. in my previous years, and some of you can chime in at this juncture, I practiced lots of different styles of yoga, including the Shivananda practice, the traditional hatha practice for years. And there was lots of like, I don't know what I should be doing. And so the Ashtanga Vinyasa lineage gave me the structure. And then it's a little bit like my teacher used to say, Sarah would say, it's like being a chef, following the recipe for a while. I think about my mother also as this as well. She's cordon bleu trained. And some of you have tasted her delicious snacks at the Shala. She did very traditional cordon bleu training, and right down to the scrutiny of how to boil an egg perfectly so the yolk was in the center. I don't know why Sophie's nodding. There's a story there she doesn't know about. So very traditional and very strict. And then slowly over time now, if I ask my mother, how did you make that? She said, just chucked a bit of this and a bit of that in there and joined it all together. And it's because of the lineage and being seeped in it for so many years in a more structured way that she's allowed and facilitated to develop beyond that as well. And I sometimes think of the Ashtanga Vinyasa practice like that as well. Vanessa said something really beautiful about whether you'd be still practicing. Do you want to share anything?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we've talked a lot, haven't we, this week, Emma, about everything that's been going on. And I just happened to say to Emma that I don't think I would be still practicing Ashtanga Yoga, Mysore style, if it wasn't for our community. When I've practiced in other spaces, it's not, or with other teachers, it's not always felt as inclusive or inviting. And so I do really think that we have something quite special. And I think, yeah, that's what you've got to remember, you know. And I think a lot of that has come about since the Me Too stuff as well. Like, there was a lot of work done, wasn't there, Emma? You know, there was a lot of the trauma-informed teacher training. And we worked really hard. And I just see that as something that's still going to keep on developing. Yeah, that makes sense.
And Vanessa has lots of experience of working in spaces outside of here as well, both from an occupational therapy background, but also continuing to work with ECY and in more trauma-informed spaces or even safer spaces. There's this word that we sometimes come across as we talk about safe spaces. And it's really complicated and really loaded, that word. And so sometimes we like to reframe it, and Lorraine taught us to reframe it as safer. And I'm sure some of you come across this in other areas of your work, both in your, I'm sure, your work, in your work as well, is that the power dynamics can sometimes be at discord. And so there's this constant evolution and constant work that we continue to have to be reframing. And I really hope and invite all of you to continue to feedback to myself and the rest of the team. I really dearly hope that Vanessa continues to call me out. Not that she does very often, she should more. And that I invite all of you to, both the teaching team here as well and the students and the community as well, to continue to support each other as a community, because we're not always going to get it right. I heard someone say sometimes when there's this discord or these cracks, is it also facilitates to let the light come in as well. And it was a really nice way to think of this, as horrible as it's been this week, and you know, I'm sure more is going to come out. It's also been really important for us to be able to really pause and reflect as well. Okay. Any questions or comments anyone wants to make? 3 or 4 more minutes. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, but you know, it's not always easy, and there's been times where I've really struggled with it as well, and there's been times where there has been discord, and this week I spent a lot of time reflecting about that, about things that I could have done better or things we could do better. And so one of the best things is that we don't just stick our heads in the sand and ignore it and not talk about it, or to be like, I know better, I'm not going to take feedback. And one of the things, especially as a teacher, is you also have to learn, especially a Meister teacher, you have to learn that if someone says no or they don't want something, I remember in my early years, I used to sometimes be really offended or be like, what have I done wrong? Or sometimes people would be just really abrupt. No! And you were like, oh. And now, and I know I practice quite a bit in Vanessa's room, she's just like, we're just like, cool, no problem. And we're like, yeah, cool, thanks for saying no. And like, we kind of support and celebrate that a little bit more and just really take it not personally at all, because people come into the room with all sorts of different things going on in their lives. Like, who's cried in the Mysore room? Yes. Everyone else online is putting their hands up. I'm like, we all come into the space, and one of the things, the beautiful things, I take it as a deep compliment. What's your best compliment as a yoga teacher? Someone cries in my room. It's really Discord. Someone burps, farts,
Their tummy gurgles.
yawns, their tummy gurgles, snores in Shavasana. Anybody got anything else? Doesn't wake up.
And when they come back again and again and again for years.
When they keep coming back, yeah, because they feel comfortable and safe and supported.
Even when they feel like crap.
Even when they feel like crap. Oh, that's a really nice thing. Thanks, Jodie, to say that. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, but it's like, it seems like the most backhanded compliments. And I was thinking about it, it's like, what is success or what is a compliment? It's like, as lovely as it is someone saying something nice to you or writing a nice review, it's those things. And what they're all based on being able to drop down into something as what we call as the parasympathetic nervous system. And if you don't know what that word is, I'll happily explain more. Today I don't have time to, but I'll happily share more information. This concept of us being able to get into what we call as rest and digest. So we're able to regulate and be calm, and we're able to be steady. And the Ashtanga practice, for sure, is going to challenge that and shake our nervous system and jangle us and challenge us. But we also have the ability to be able to move towards more steadiness and be able to move to more a place of regulation, okay? And it's not linear. It's deeply variable. Some days I come into the room and I'm like, yeah. And other days I'm like, But there's a commitment that we all give that we're willing to show up on the mat. And I think that's the biggest commitment. It's not about doing your full practice, or if anything, I take also another compliment for me if someone comes into the room and does like one namaskar. Hamish said this, one namaskar, and then they just lie down. And I've done that before. I hope some of you you did it the other day. Yeah. And so that's also a compliment to me as well, or to us. Sorry, I shouldn't say me, but that people feel the ability to be able to do that as well. So know that we'll continue to support that as much as we can, okay? And know that we're welcome and open to any feedback as well, okay? Right, we have to chant Sahana Bhavatu now, okay? So if you've not done this chant before, we'll do it call and response once, and then maybe once together as well, okay? Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvi Navaditamastu, Ma Vidvidshavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay? We'll do it once, call and response, and then once together if we can. Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvi Navaditamastu, Tejasvi Navaditamastu, Ma Vidvidshavahai, Ma Vidvidshavahai. Om Shanti Shanti, Shanti. Together. Om. Sahana Bhavatu. Sahana Bhunaktu. Saha Viryam Karavavahai. Tejasvi Navaditamastu. Ma Vidvishavahai. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Nice. With deep respect to you all, to our community, and for those who are shining light. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Open day on Sunday. If you're coming, bring a dish or come and eat food. I'll share some more details with some of you who are here on Sunday early morning with me. But otherwise, feel free to reach out to me or Vanessa or Kirsten if you have any more questions. Okay? Cool. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye, Gilo. Gilo, just I saw your... Oh, she's already signed off.